Having gone through several nannies for his children, workaholic George Banks hires Mary Poppins. She appears to be a firm, proper British nanny and behaves as such most of the time, but she does take the children out on these magical, wonderful outings, and with her mere presence seems to turn the Banks household upside down. But is that a bad thing? The good. The characters in this movie are really charming and really fun to watch, especially Bert and Mary Poppins. Bert is a very whimsical guy who understands other people very well, seems to have fun with the zillion different things he might be doing at any given time, and just loves to be alive. The excessive happiness and charm that he brings to the movie is probably my favorite part of the entire thing. Mary Poppins, on the other hand, is a woman who both acts as and defies the convention of being a traditional nanny. She is very firm with the children, but she also gives them a dose of fun to go along with it. A spoonful of sugar for the medicine, if you will. She's also respectful of Mr. Banks' wishes, but she uses words to manipulate circumstances to go her way. Mary Poppins is witty, pretty, clever, and wonderful. The musical numbers in this movie are very catchy and contagious, as one would expect of a Disney movie. There is a huge amount of energy put into the fun, whimsical musical numbers. Other musical numbers in this movie have a very touching atmosphere to them that are meant to portray something simple, but very beautiful. If I had to pick a favorite, I would probably pick Stay Awake, because that is the greatest employment of reverse psychology I've ever seen. And Mary Poppins pulls off a lot of great reverse psychology in this movie. This movie flows really well, never stopping too suddenly, especially at the end of musical numbers. They let them flow and end right when they need to. You'd also think a transition into an animated world in a live-action movie would be pretty jarring, but in this movie, it's actually very well foreshadowed, and the audience is more than prepared for it by the time it happens. The story, too, is very clever and very well done. With the picture painted on the box as well as advertisements you might see for this movie, you would think that it'd be about a whimsical nanny who takes children on grand adventures, which in some cases, yes, that is what happens in this movie. But at the core, the story is about something entirely different, and when you get to the payoff when it happens in the movie, shortly before the ending, it's done in a very subtle way, but it's clear to the audience, and it's quite touching. Because of this, the ending is a bit bittersweet, but I think that quality makes the ending stick with you even more and leaves a more powerful impact. The iffy. Some of the musical numbers in this movie feel like they go on for quite a long time and kind of get to the point where you feel like you're losing focus. But most of these musical numbers are so fun that you kind of want them to end, so they get a pass from me. The bad. I think it's safe to say that the bad category doesn't exist for this movie. The verdict? I don't have a conscious childhood memory of ever watching this movie, which is a frickin' shame, because this is a marvelous piece of work. It's mysterious, it's magical, it's fun, it's touching, it's heavy when it needs to be. It's Mary Poppins. This is Detective Steve saying, stay tuned for Saving Mr. Banks.